Hey everyone, it's Chase with Noble and Nourished podcast, and I just wanted to chat about something really real today. So, what do you do when the progress that you're working for starts to slow down? Look, I've been there, I've had clients that have been there, and I know many of you have been there too. So, you're working hard, you're eating right, you're eating clean, you're doing all the things, and yet those results aren't coming in as fast as they used to, or maybe have slowed down. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about why this happens, and more importantly, how can you stay motivated during those tough times? And so trust me, you're not alone, and there's science. Remember when I hit my first plateau and I'm like, I'm seeing progress, I'm seeing progress. And then next thing you know, it's like halted. And personally, I don't have a huge fat loss, weight loss story. Personally, have like worked really hard at being lean and strong, like since high school. And even though the process and the journey after pregnancies had been pretty much where I've spent most of my fat loss or most of the weight loss journey, and a lot of that when I've gone through those processes and hitting those moments where I'm like seeing a lot of weight falling off of me and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exciting, especially with my middle one. Like I got up to personally, I am 5 foot tall. And when I was pregnant with my middle child, she was like almost 10 pounds when she was born. And so I actually got up to, I think it was like 180. And being a 5 foot woman and already a small frame, 180 pounds on me was very, very heavy. It was very uncomfortable. And so after having the baby, after having my middle child, the fat loss phase all started, right? Like I, was really not really focused on the fat loss, but I was doing things that in my habits and routines that I knew were going to help me get there faster, right? And that was walking, eating protein, eating, a variety of well-balanced meals, all that kind of good stuff, right? But I remember getting to a point where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really want this to like escalate. Like I want this to go a little bit faster. And it was kind of slow. And I remember being like, okay, it fell off quickly, but now I'm at this point where it wasn't like what I was doing was not working anymore. And that's when I personally stepped it up a notch. I went into my very first strength training program and was super proud of my results and, saw some success. And so, but what happened is I really realized that all the real work really begins when I shifted my mindset around what I was doing, how I was doing it, and not being so addicted to what the scale was saying or, seeing the results faster. And once I shifted to how I was feeling in my body, I was feeling in my clothes, things actually felt much better. And so we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about what are some action steps that we can do in order to stay motivated and really happens as to why this happens, right? So first let's talk about why does this slowdown even happen? Like what is the cause here? And it's really a thing called adaptation. Your body is super smart. God is so like when I really dig into some of the science things and I'm like, wow, that's connected to this and this is connected to that. And it is like, it's an amazing machine. And God is so creative, but he didn't like what was so cool about what he did is not, he didn't like just throw something in there for the heck of it. Right. And so everything works together. But when we have this thing called adaptation, really, when you are getting stronger and you're more consistent with your eating and you're doing all the right things over time, your body gets really efficient. Gets really efficient at using its energy, at, recovery. And so in fitness, we call this, like, you guys have probably heard this word before, but a plateau, right? Where it's a sign your body has adjusted to that normal. And just know that you aren't a failure when this happens. It's nothing that you have done personally. It's basically now it's time to shift some stuff in order to make sure that your body starts responding again. And did you know that in weight loss, like after 5 to 10% of your weight is lost, your progress actually tends to slow down. And so there was a journal, I don't remember where it all came from, but I do remember it was a journal of obesity. And basically your metabolism starts adjusting to your new weight, the way it recoveries, and it starts burning fewer calories as you get a little bit more lean, right? Lighter, and basically you drop body fat. And so as you do that, you have to continue auditing, editing, and making some changes so that your body doesn't start adapting. And basically you just want to keep it exciting, or keep your body excited, right? And if you start doing that, like, and who gets bored? Like, I know I personally, I'm over this, right? I know I have had clients that have said that. They're like, hey, Chase, like, I need something a little bit different. I need to shift some stuff. I'm like, yes, let's do it. Like, I want to make sure that my clients are getting the results that they're wanting. And if they're in a mental funk about what they're doing and how they're doing it, or if their body stops responding, I'm like, hey, we need to switch. Like, we need the next thing. Like, what is that next thing? And how can I challenge them and push them to that next level? So here are some of the ways, action steps. You guys know I always want you to leave these episodes with action steps. And so here are some of the things that you can do to actually stay motivated instead of like freaking out when you see your body not responding. So first things first, you got to change up your routine. So you've been doing the same workout, or maybe the same type of workout for weeks and weeks and weeks, or maybe you're just, kind of only doing, let's just say you're only doing running, or you're only doing long runs, or you only do the same pace. Right? I'm just going to use running as an example. And when you do that, it really starts to, like, your body starts not changing. You're not getting faster, right? Or not being able to like push to that next level because you're exhausted by the end of, I don't know, let's just say mile 10. And you're like, I can't get past mile 10. And if you do, you start to slow down a lot. Right. And so some things that you need to do in order to make your body go faster and be able to have like better, more efficient endurance runs, what you could do there is start doing some sprint, right? Go do some speed work. And when you throw in that speed work, what happens is you actually start to get faster on your long runs, and then you actually can go further. So that's what we mean, and what I mean by switching things up. And that was just a very simple analogy when it comes to like training. Like, running endurance training is like the coolest thing because it's very fast results. And like when I think back on my, I don't know, I think I did like endurance training for like 6 years. I think back to that time, I'm like, I loved it so much because it was such quick results. I was like, oh, I did a mile and now I can do 2 miles, and now I'm like running 5Ks. It was so fast. Like, I was seeing the results quickly. But here's what you also can do, right? Try adding some resistance, right? Doing more reps, experimenting with potentially some new versions of your exercises. Your body needs new challenges. And I know for a fact that with my online workout program and with my coaching clients, every 4 weeks, we're working on a new phase. We're doing a variation of our squat. We're changing up our squat. We're going from, endurance based training to potentially more of a hypertrophy type training. And so it's time to change up your routine. So that's going to be number 1. Number 2, set a process-oriented goals, right? Process-oriented. So you're probably like, what? What are you talking about here? Focus on things that you can control, right? Instead of setting goals, oh, I got to lose 5 pounds, which, girl, that 5 pounds is going to go up and down in a month. You need to quit worrying about that 5 pounds. I'm going to tell you that right now. So besides that, like setting goals of like, hey, I'm going to work out 4 days this week. Or instead of 2 days, I'm going to make sure that like, hey, I'm going to progress that into 4 or 5 days a week. Or I'm going to eat veggies at every meal. Those are process-oriented goals. You can do and be in control of those goals. When you're seeing the scale not moving, it's those little wins that are going to keep you super motivated. Remember, today's episode is about staying motivated when the scale's not moving or when your results aren't following suit, whether that be in weight loss or whether that be in, hey, I'm trying to get stronger, right? Sometimes you're going to hit that wall and you're going to need a little bit of motivation. Let's track number 3. This is going to be tracking your non-scale victories, right? How is your sleep? And these are things where you like listening to your body. Your body is an amazing mechanism, a machine that I said earlier, and it's able to speak to you. It's going to tell you what you need. How's your sleep? How's your energy levels? Are you feeling stronger in your workouts? Are you really wanting to see, are you in a space that you're like, my jeans are fitting better, but the scale's not moving? Maybe that's a small win that you can celebrate. Or, hey, I did a push-up on my toes instead of my knees. Or, hey, I just did a deadlift with 2 plates on each side. Like, huge wins. And so celebrating those non-scale, like, it is not connected to the weight or that number on that stinking scale. And I have told some clients, I'm like, hey, go throw that scale away or go put it away in your closet. Like you have they were weighing in every single day and getting obsessed with like half a pound. And I'm like, girlfriend, no, ma'am, go put that away. Like you were I only want you to take it out every other Sunday. And then we will do a weigh in. And because she was on a fat loss goal, but she was so connected to what that looks like. And I was like, what we're going to do over this, in the 2 weeks, instead of weighing every morning, you're going to find something that is a win. And then again, something I do with my coaching clients. And if you're someone that's like, I need some accountability and some strategies to follow, guys, you guys can click the link in the show notes below. My coaching program is open and I'm doing interviews for our coaching program. But when you think about the wins and you pay attention to those wins, it's psychologically does something crazy. Like it makes you go, oh my gosh. And you feel so much joy and you feel so much better about yourself. And instead of seeing that number going, bah, and getting frustrated and angry. Okay. So track your non-scale victories, write them down, put them somewhere, like put it on your phone, put it a sticky note on your computer, like do something that you can actually track those non-scale victories. Number 4, take a recovery break. Sometimes you just need to rest. Sometimes you've been stressing your body out and you've been working out 5 days a week. You've been hitting the gym. You've been lifting hard. Sometimes you just need to chill out. You've been going hard and really pushing yourself and setting some new standards in your life. But man, if your body's not responding right now, just take a chill pill. Just chill out for a second. Like really just focus on some of those lower intensity activities. Maybe it's a little bit more of a recovery. Maybe you do a little bit more mobility work for a week or so. Like let your body recover. Let your brain kind of like chill. Like get in tune with what's going on with your body. And it could be the rest or like a reset that you needed. It could be something that you were like, I now feel a million times better. Number 5, remember your why. This one's huge. And I talk about it all the time with all my clients because when you get into a little pickle and you're like, what's going on? And I'm so frustrated and aggravated. When you get back to the true reason why you're doing something and why you started your journey in the first place, was it for more energy? Was it for better health? Or was it to set a better example for your kids? Like, what was your why and why did you start it? I'm getting teary eyed over here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you're probably like, what is going on and why is she crying? But I think it's so important. And I think it's something that gets missed a lot is where the reason you're not motivated is because you forgot why you're doing it. You forgot why you started. You forgot what the purpose is. And getting back in tune with why you're wanting to do it and what you're wanting to accomplish and that deep reason, the deep reason, not the surface reason, like, oh, I wanted to lose the 5 pounds. No, why did you want to lose 5 pounds? Don't be surfacey with none of this stuff. Get to the root and really connect with why you wanted to do it. So top 5 action steps to stay motivated: change up that routine, set process-oriented goals, track those non-scale victories, take a recovery break, and number 5, remember your why. And the biggest thing here, I know I mentioned earlier that the mindset shifting was really what kind of did it for me when I shared my story earlier, is when I started shifting what I was thinking and why I was so connected to like seeing the number change after pregnancy. Like I remember being like, oh, I just want to be back where I was. Here's the thing. Let's embrace the journey. Let's kind of like switch gears here. And instead of being so connected, it's like, oh, results, embrace the journey. And your progress isn't always going to be linear. It's not like I'm 150, I want to be 125, and I need to get there just like this. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my hands moving, but I'm a talker with my hands anyways. So I'm over here like whacking the mic most of the time. And so as you are going through that, like getting from point A right here, if you're going from 150 to 125, it's not going to be a straight line. It's not just like a ramp on the way down. It's like peaks and valleys and rocks and all kinds of things on the way down. And it's like do, right? And so fitness and your health is a lifelong journey that you are going to be on for a long time. And so just remind yourself that it's not, that destination isn't a number on the scale, but a lifestyle that you can actually sustain long term. And then lean into that support system that you have, lean in on your community. And whether that's your family, people that you work out with, your accountability buddy, or heck, an online fit community, like we have muscles and messy buns, right? Like don't do this alone. like, don't do it. Share on your social media. Your motivation is going to grow when you actually share with what you've got going on. Right. And so again, if you want details on that, I have the links in the show notes below, but join our fit community. Go share in there your meal prep, go share your workouts, your sweaty selfies. Like, we want to celebrate you. And the women in there are going to be like cheering you on. And so if you need that support system, that's a great place to start. And leaning into this, hitting a plateau isn't the end, right? It's your body adjusting. It's just your body communicating with you. And so take that opportunity to level up. And that's not just physically, that's also up here mentally. And just remember that you got this. You got this. So if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you guys subscribe, leave a review. You know the drill. And I'll see you guys next week, because then I have an amazing guest coming on next week, and you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure that you guys subscribe so you don't miss an episode. So glad you joined us on today's episode of the Noble and Nourished podcast. We'd love it if you could just share a screenshot of this episode with your friends on social and drop me a tag at ChaseLynn252. I love seeing your posts and questions you ask on there, and it really helps us to create more content and get episode ideas when you share where you're at in your journey. Again, thanks for joining me, Chase Williams, on today's episode, and don't forget to hit subscribe button and drop a rating. It really helps the show grow and reach more women just like you. See you next week.